Welcome back to the Deep Dive. I'm genuinely thrilled about today. We're diving into something that, well, resonates with so many of you and, honestly, is one of the most empowering skills you can develop, unlocking English fluency in 2025. We've carefully gathered insights from expert sources, especially Learn English Fast, 2025 Strategies for Fluency, Episode 12. It's really packed with powerful strategies, modern tools, practical exercises, the whole deal. Our mission right now, to give you a clear, actionable roadmap, something to speed up your English fluency, whether you're thinking about a career move, getting ready for studies, or you just have that curiosity. So how do we actually cut through all the noise online and do this? Okay, let's unpack this.
Yes, let's. Because you're right, the internet is just flooded with advice, often contradictory. So this deep dive, it's specifically designed to boil all that down into
Yeah.
clear, actionable strategies, things you can actually use. It's about making sure you get their knowledge quickly, yes, but also thoroughly, so you don't feel overwhelmed. We're really aiming for those aha moments, providing a complete approach, something really holistic that goes way beyond just memorizing lists, which is frankly essential today.
Absolutely. And I think what might surprise some listeners is where we're starting. We're not kicking off with verb tables or endless vocab lists. Our sources really stress this, a fundamental mindset shift first. So when we talk about a growth mindset for language learning in, say, 2025, what does that really mean? Beyond just saying, oh, mistakes are proof I'm learning, what's the deeper impact?
That's such a crucial distinction because it's one thing to say it, but actually living it. That fundamentally changes your whole learning path. What's fascinating here is the psychology. This shift isn't just, a nice positive thought. It actually seems to rewire your brain's approach. The source material points out that when you reframe mistakes, not as failures, but maybe as data points, you activate different neural pathways, your brain becomes more open to learning, less prone to that fight or flight stress response that just slams the door on memory. So it's not just about feeling less resistance inside, it's genuinely optimizing your brain for picking up the language. This mental shift, honestly, it could cut your learning time significantly, maybe even in half.
Yeah.
Because you stop fighting yourself. You start enjoying the process more. The interactive side, the global connections, it can actually be fun.
I love that phrase, data points. Reframing mistakes as data points. That's such a practical, powerful way to look at it. It's like going to the gym, right? If you consistently show up, even for just 15 minutes every single day, you're going to see much better, more lasting results than someone who does one brutal session a month and then quits. It's those small daily efforts. They really do add up to big results. So instead of that negative thought, I can't learn English fast, you actively replace it. Something like, I am learning English faster every single day. It really changes everything, doesn't it? Your belief, your motivation, even your follow-through.
Precisely. That internal story, that narrative you tell yourself, that's your foundation. And once that's solid, your brain is basically primed. Then we can start building the practical habits that really leverage this new mindset.
Exactly. Okay, so you've got the mental framework sorted. The next logical question is, right, but what do I actually do every day?
Absolutely.
And that leads us perfectly into crafting your daily English routine for 2025. This isn't about cramming for hours. It's about balance. Think of English like a muscle. You've got to train all the parts, right? Not just, say, reading. Our source breaks it down really nicely. A structured approach spread throughout the day. So you could picture this in the morning, maybe just 10-15 minutes. That's it. You read one short news article in English, something like BBC Learning English or Google News. Simple. The key thing is highlight maybe 3 to 5 new words. Then write one example sentence for each. That's targeted. It's active learning right from the start of your day. And then you're not just reading passively, are you?
Not at all. That morning piece is so important for setting the tone. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's not just about soaking up information. It's about actively weaving English into your day, into your existing routine. It's low effort, relatively speaking, but high impact. It builds momentum without feeling like a huge chore. You're sort of waking up your English brain, making new connections right away.
Waking up your English brain. I like that. Okay, then moving into the afternoon, another short burst. Maybe 15-20 minutes. The suggestion here, watch a short English YouTube video or listen to a podcast segment. And here's where a specific technique comes in. Shadowing. You pause it every, say, 2-3 minutes, and you just repeat exactly what you heard. Now, you mentioned this is great for pronunciation, for rhythm, but why is shadowing so effective? What's going on there?
Yeah, it's much more than just simple repetition. Shadowing works so well because you're not just saying words back, you're actively training your mouth, your tongue, your ear, all of it, to copy native speech pattern. You're mimicking the intonation, the ups and downs, the stress on certain syllables, the rhythm, even how words kind of link together smoothly. Things you just can't get from reading alone. It's like you're being a vocal mirror. And it really does wonders for your pronunciation and your confidence when you speak.
Ah, I see. Like tuning your ear and your mouth at the same time.
Mm,
Makes sense.
yeah.
And finally, the evening, maybe 30 minutes. This is where you focus on what, let's be honest, many people tend to avoid actually speaking. The source specifically points to using AI apps like ChatGPT Voice Chat as a good example, or connection platforms, things like HelloTalk or Cambly, where you have real conversations. And the mantra here, focus on fluency, just getting the words out, not necessarily perfection, which loops right back to that mindset we talked about, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And this balanced approach, hitting all the skills, that's really the secret the source talks about. So many learners, they tend to stick to reading or listening because it feels safer, right? Less exposure. But if you neglect speaking, or writing for that matter, your overall progress really suffers. It gets stuck. You wouldn't go to the gym and only train your biceps and expect, a balanced result. It's the same here. Reading without speaking, listening without writing, it just won't get you to true rounded fluency. This routine ensures all 4 key areas, reading, listening, writing, and speaking, get that regular balanced workout.
And there's even a little weekly task suggested in this routine. Record yourself, just talking about your day in English for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Then, and this is key, listen back to it. Notice your pronunciation, grammar, your confidence level. The real magic happens when you compare these recordings week by week. You actually hear the progress. That's tangible proof you're getting better. And for me, that kind of evidence is a massive motivator. Seeing that progress keeps you in the game. Okay, now let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about the game changer, technology. It's 2025, right? And as our source puts it, quite brilliantly, I think, we have tools our parents could only dream of. If you're not using these tools now, you're arguably making it harder for yourself. But isn't there a danger here, a risk of becoming, too reliant on tech, like it becomes a crutch? Especially with all this amazing AI stuff.
That's a really, really important question. And it's definitely something the source tackles directly. There absolutely is a line there, a balance to be struck. The key isn't just using tech, it's using it smartly, strategically. The source actually gives a pretty clear framework to make sure these tools boost you, not hold you back. They sort of categorize them. You've got AI language partners for feedback, immersive tools to build confidence, translation helpers for quick lookups. The whole point is they're meant to accelerate you towards independent fluency. They don't replace the need for it.
Okay, that's a helpful distinction. Boosters, not crutches. So first category, AI language partners. We're talking apps like ChatGPT Voice, maybe Elsa Speak, Duolingo Max, that kind of thing. These are basically like having a private tutor available 24/7. You can talk to them, ask grammar questions, get instant feedback on pronunciation. It's like a practice buddy who's always there and, crucially, totally judgment-free. I've heard some incredible stories about people having really quite deep conversations with these AI. Then you've got immersive tools. This is where things like VR and AR apps get exciting. Imagine practicing ordering coffee in a virtual cafe, or checking into a virtual hotel, or even giving a presentation to a virtual audience. This is fantastic because it builds your confidence for real-life situations. But without that intense fear of embarrassment that can really paralyze learners.
Exactly. And these tools, they really bridge that gap, don't they, between knowing the theory and actually doing it. They provide these safe, simulated spaces to practice. It's about getting that real-world feel, but in a controlled environment. So you're ready for the real thing. You can repeat scenarios, practice until you feel comfortable without any real-world pressure, until it feels second nature.
Right. And the third category, translation helpers. So instead of constantly stopping to look things up in a dictionary, you might have real-time AI translation glasses or apps that give you instant meanings. The source gives an example like you're watching a movie, you don't know a word, you tap, and boom, there's the meaning. But here's that crucial golden rule the source keeps coming back to. Technology is a learning booster.
Not a crutch.
Exactly, not a crutch. It's like those training wheels on a bike, isn't it?
Precisely. They help you get going, find your balance, build confidence, but the goal is always to eventually take them off and ride freely. So the strategy for 2025 seems clear. Use AI for the speed and feedback. Use VRR for building that situational confidence. Use apps for that daily, consistent practice. This integrated approach, when you use it thoughtfully, really can be a shortcut to fluency. It speeds things up.
That training wheels analogy really nails it. Okay, moving on. Let's tackle a really common pitfall, something that trips up so many English learners: burnout. From trying to study for these long marathon sessions, our source suggests a much more sustainable and frankly effective method: micro-learning. So what makes micro-learning so effective? Is it just that it's short?
Well, it's not just about being short, though that helps with fitting it in. It really taps into how our brains actually learn and remember things. Consolidation. When you learn in these short, focused bursts, say 5 or 10 minutes, you give your brain more frequent chances to process that information and sort of file it away properly. It reduces that feeling of cognitive overload and actually improves long-term retention. Think of it less like trying to swallow a huge textbook in one go, and more like adding small, organized notes to your brain's filing system again and again. So yeah, we're talking maybe 5 new words a day, 10 minutes listening, even just 2 minutes speaking. Little chunks.
That makes perfect sense. It's working with your brain, not against it. Okay, here's a quick exercise for you listening right now. It's something you can try today. Every single time you pick up your phone, just say one English sentence out loud about what you're doing, like, "I'm checking my messages," or "I'm scrolling social media." Simple stuff. If you do that consistently, maybe for a month, you will have spoken hundreds of English sentences without ever feeling like you sat down to study. That's micro-learning in action right there. Now, let's connect this to real-life practice, because textbooks are fine. But as the source says, real-life practice is where fluency is truly forged. And the good news is, in 2025, you really don't need to fly halfway across the world for this. You can get tons of real-life practice online. You mentioned earlier that fluency is built in actual conversations. How do these online real-life scenarios help with that crucial output part?
This is absolutely critical because fluency isn't just about taking information in. Input. It's just as much, maybe more, about putting language out. Output. Actively using it. Micro-learning gives you those digestible bits of input. And these real-life practice situations, they provide the essential opportunities for output, for application. Your brain holds on to information much, much better when you actively use it in a meaningful context. It's about making that shift from just understanding English to actually producing it yourself. Speaking it, writing it.
Right. So many options now. You could join an English-speaking club on Zoom or maybe Discord. You could even play online video games and just chat with your teammates in English. Once your vocabulary is a bit stronger, try watching movies or TV shows, but turn those subtitles off. Challenge yourself. And a really easy one, just write comments in English on YouTube videos, Reddit threads, social media posts. The really vital distinction our source makes here is don't just consume English. That's input reading, listening. You have to produce it too. Output speaking, writing. You need both, no question. It's like learning guitar, you know. You can listen to music forever, but you won't play until you actually pick up the instrument and try. Okay, so we've covered a lot. The mindset shift, the balanced routine, smart tech use for 2025, micro-learning, real-life practice. But let's be real for a second. The biggest hurdle for most people isn't knowing what to do. It's actually doing it, day after day. Consistency. How do we keep that motivation high? Keep that fire burning when the initial excitement fades? Because that's where I've seen so many learners just fizzle out. And here's where it gets really interesting.
That's a very sharp observation. And it really is where so many good intentions kind of fall apart, isn't it? Keeping that motivation going long-term is often the toughest part of any big goal. The source actually offers some pretty practical hacks, let's call them, to keep you engaged. Recognizing that consistency isn't just about raw willpower, it's also about using smart strategies.
Yeah, they break it down into 3 simple but really effective motivation hacks. First, track your progress. Seriously, keep a learning diary or use an app that shows your daily streaks. Seeing that visual chain, that progress, it's incredibly motivating. Second, reward yourself. Small rewards. After a solid week of practice, give yourself a little treat. Whatever works for you, these small celebrations reinforce the habit loop, keep you going. And third, find a study partner, or even just an accountability buddy. When you're learning with someone else, you're much less likely to quit. You keep each other going. Sharing those small wins makes a huge difference too.
And beneath all those practical hacks, there's another layer. Another mindset shift, really. The source suggests something quite profound. Stop saying, "I am learning English." Instead, start telling yourself, "I am becoming an English speaker." That sounds subtle maybe, but changing how you describe yourself, your identity in relation to the language, it can have a massive impact on your confidence, your commitment. Words really do have power. You shift from seeing yourself as someone doing a task to someone transforming into the person you want to be, someone who speaks English.
Wow, I am becoming an English speaker. That's powerful. So what does this all mean? For you listening today, we've dug into that vital mindset shift, crafting a daily routine that works, using 2025's tech smartly. We've talked about micro-learning, real-life practice, and keeping yourself motivated. The promise from our source material is pretty clear. Apply these strategies consistently, daily, and you will see results faster than you might think. Weeks, not years. And the core message, I think, is this. English isn't just something you study in a book.
It's something you live.
Exactly. It's
Good.
something you live.
And maybe as you think about every